think of more and maybe Sunday afternoon, kind of just double take. Just mowing it, yeah. And according to this, beautification,
we have some, the one in the back, this is what we're gonna amend, this is just I mean, budget report. I didn't make it all, okay? I know, right, I got it. Oh, okay, that's okay, Robert, I get it. If phone works, no problem. That's for you. Extra.
thank you.
And then, I'm gonna return my. What do you need, Becky?
This is already on the agenda.
Not that one, the one in the back is. Correct? Let me double check. The court security one is. Yeah, court security. Okay, but budget was misspoke, we're not doing it. So this one, I'm sorry, this one needs to be added to the, this is that. Yeah, okay. Say we received. All yours, Jim. Get it.
This one is unless she's changed something. Has to do with the security. Then this one is new.
Yes.
Oh, we need to put it up. We need to do that. That's what I need. We can put it in.
Thank you all for coming. Ms. Watson, would you lead us in our evening prayer and salute to the flag?
Our Father, which art in heaven, we thank thee for being able to gather as interested citizens and those who wish to make our county better, and we pray that thou will inspire us and lead and direct us according to thy will. We pray for our country. We pray that there may be more unity and that all that's done will be according to thy will. We thank thee for the blessings of this beautiful land that we live in Carroll County, and we pray a blessing upon all the residents in this area, that they may have health and prosperity this year. And these things we ask in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Meeting will now come to order. Thank you all for attending tonight. Second county business. Mr. James, would you do the roll call, please?
Yes. Mr. Deaton?
Here.
Mr. Olson?
Here.
Mr. Ritchie?
Here.
Mr. Johnson?
Here.
Mr. Phillips?
Here.
Mr. Hicks?
Here.
Mrs. Watson? Here. Mr. McNeely?
Here.
Mr. Hall?
Here.
Mr. Swafford?
Here.
Mr. Harton?
Here.
Thank you.
We got all present.
Yeah.
Next item of business is disposition of journal proceedings, approval of the previous minutes. If there's not any additions or correction, I entertain a motion to approve.
I move to approve December 19th and January 3rd minutes. All in favor?
Matt second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next item of business is public comment. We have 3 minutes. Do we have any?
Could I make a motion and we can change the agenda
Yes.
to add the ordinance, the appropriation ordinance? And Jimmy Hamilton wonder on this. Case number 1016-30. You add that to the,
We won't do that until we approve it. I don't have a number until it's all been approved. But it's going to be on appropriating money for heating in
For
the
the
health department.
Jack made a motion to minutes, Roger second. Any discussion? Not call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Now we ready for public comment. Public comments, 3 minutes, if anybody would raise your hand. I believe Leon was first, sir, if you'll be next.
Make any difference, whichever. Just gonna give you a little facts and information. Ran some numbers from April when we started doing the 911 till December the 31st. Ran 1,388 911 calls here in the county. 94% of those calls were under the 2-minute state standard. 6% of those calls, which come to 83 calls, were over the 2-minute standard. When we done our QA and QM to find out why, we had some dispatch differences from our dispatcher versus our Carroll County dispatch. Some of our medics taking the numbers. That has now changed, and this month now, we're 97, this just from January to now, we're 97% underneath that 2-minute mark. Mutual aid, we called for mutual aid 8 times since April the 1st. One of those I'm counting as 2 because we called Mercy and Eureka Springs to the big pile up out here on 62. The rest of the times the call for mutual aid, it has been because all the ambulances were tied up. No mutual aid calls were made because of us not having an ambulance in the county, as far as being off on transfers or something like that. Just kind of give you kind of an update on it, the response times and dispatch times and things like that.
Any questions? Jeff?
Well, you mentioned confusion between the Carroll County 911 and your dispatch.
Yeah,
You're not dispatched by Carroll County?
we are, but we had a new dispatcher in August. Whenever we get dispatched now, all those times come in. We get a time stamp as soon as we go in, en route to the call. They send us all the paperwork over, and we compare to their times versus our times. And in August, with our new dispatcher, was not keeping up with our times like we've done for the other months. It was just in August. We see a peak in August, so we went to August to find out why. It was just really a clerical deal, but I can't go back and change it. It's been fixed, and that's where we're at.
Anyone else? Thank you. Sheriff, you're next.
Okay. I've got it's a summary of last year's calls and folks spoke in. It's real brief, but it gives you a good overview. If you want to look at it as a minute, or I don't think there'll be a lot of questions, but
Is there an extra
brief.
one?
I'll have one for you if you need.
Thank you. If there's not one. Do
There will be.
y'all have one? Okay. Okay, I'll get a copy.
These are all county calls
Thank
except for
you.
the number of calls that came into dispatch that clarified what dispatch took in on the second page because of the city. It kind of, yes ma'am.
Could you clarify the terroristic threatening? There's 48 here. Just
That would have
qualify
been
that.
48 complaints of terroristic threats. Which is, I'm going to hurt you, I'm going to,
Oh,
anything like that, would be the charge.
not terrorism.
Yes, sir.
Lamont?
Is it possible for us to get some of this on a quarterly basis?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You haven't asked me, but absolutely.
We're asking.
You bet. Not a problem.
Anyone else? Thank you, Sheriff.
I have more copies than that if anybody really wants. He said anybody would really. My favorite.
Next item of business is miscellaneous. Craig, would you like to introduce the main responsible, please?
Sir, I have Barry Levine here from the Carroll County Fair Board. He wants to present to you all possibility of getting some money for the Carroll County Fairgrounds. In the form of a grant.
It's a 50-50 grant, and it's, half of it comes from us, the Carroll County Fairgrounds, and the other half comes from the state of Arkansas. Doesn't require anything from the county. The only thing I need basically from the county is a resolution number to proceed on with the grant. And it's for renovating, I want to renovate, put new commodes and stuff in, plumbing in the bathrooms, and put in new lighting in the arena to cut down on the electric bill. We've got them old antique halogen bulbs in there that we want, we've been replacing them a little bit as they burn out, and pour some concrete underneath some garage doors so the doors will seal off so we can heat the arena for dances. We have some Mexicans have dances out there in the winter and we want to be able to help heat, for those so we can have some more things go on out there. The grant is for $4,000 from the state, and we have to match. It's a 50-50 match. We have to match the $4,000, but we have the money in our account to match it if we don't have in-kind labor or donated material. And I've actually got that already donated, but I don't have it documented on, paper. But I do have one bank statement that I can give the judge or whatever that shows that we have the money, in our account.
Lamont?
What does the grant do?
What does it do?
When is it due?
March the 17th is the deadline.
Okay.
So I've got basically a month to finish the rest of the...
Barry, do they allow you to have in-kind service to make it part of the program?
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah, we can do it if you want to donate some time or whatever. You can do it that way. Donate equipment. Yeah, it doesn't have to be in cash.
This is the same one you couldn't talk about
Yes.
last year, but
Yes.
it's too late to get it
Yeah,
done.
too late to get anything going. I come talk to him. We couldn't get a resolution that day, so I'm back again trying to get a resolution number.
Anyone else? More questions?
Just one comment that if we do this, we couldn't get a resolution until February.
Right.
So you'd have plenty of time to
Yeah,
get the actual document attached to you.
Okay.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item of business is number 8. Jimmy?
Be it resolved by the Quorum Court of the County of Carroll, State of Arkansas, a resolution to be entitled, a resolution confirming the appointments of commissioners to the Eastern Carroll County Ambulance District. Whereas the Quorum Court of Carroll County passed an ordinance creating Eastern Carroll County Ambulance District, which was thereafter approved by the voters. And whereas the county judge has appointed the ECCAD commissioners as follows: David Stoppel, 5-year initial term; Wendell Coatney, 4-year initial term. Amy Levine, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, 3-year initial term. Joanne Griesenhauer, 2-year initial term. And Rick Wheatley, 1-year initial term. Now therefore be it resolved by the Quorum Court of the County of Carroll, State of Arkansas, the appointments of David Stoffel, Wendell Coatney, Amy Levine, Joanne Griesenhauer, and Rick Wheatley to Eastern Carroll County Ambulance District Board of Commissioners are hereby confirmed with the initial terms as set out above.
Mayor, move to adopt.
Move to adopt. I'll second.
Okay.
Any discussion?
I would really like to postpone it for 1 month, because I'd like to get to know more about these people, and particularly how they interact with the existing EMT, emergency services we have, just to make sure there's no conflicts of interest or anything. I haven't had time to really process all that. But I would like to see it put off till next month.
Well, I think there's already been a motion
To
approved,
accept.
and a second, I think it has to be honored first, no, that to be voted down the table. No.
Now, it can be a motion to table.
Okay.
I motion to table it for a month.
Okay, do we hear a second, Marty?
I was just gonna say, some of the folks are here now, and they can give a short synopsis of what they work in.
Okay.
So,
Are all of them
Do we
here?
hear a second at the table? What?
If we were to eventually,
I can't hear
if
you.
we were to eventually to put these people on here, and we were to, see who's gonna do this, what service we're gonna have for this ambulance district. If these people work for a local service, would that be a conflict of interest?
Only if any of us bidding on it. Is Central bidding on this? I didn't think they were. And, I can understand y'all's concern. I've worked with and know all these people. And, I was glad to see that you got people that used to have boots on the ground. But I can understand the new JPs if you don't know the people and,
Well, do you know where these people work?
no, David works for Central. Joanne, I'm not, who you working for now?
I worked for Cox, no, EMS,
Cox,
2010.
Amy, you're,
Same thing, Fox Mass, South Christian County. I worked there since 2013 this time.
do you know if Cox is planning on bidding on the
As
thing?
far as we know, Fox is not at this time planning on taking it.
Rick Wheatley, is he here?
I talked to him today, he said he had a prior.
Yeah, he's a first responder and a fire chief in South Carroll County. He's used to working with first responders. He is a first responder down there. David here was involved in when the Western District was formed, and so he's got some knowledge on the beginning of it. And, like I said, I looked these over and I've worked with or around all of them. And, but I do, like I said, I can understand some of them if you don't know the people.
There's no conflict for Rick if he's.
Come on.
I really think it's premature to have this kind of a litmus test for people when selecting them for an appointment to a commission. To ask them, do you think your company is going to bid, I think is wholly inappropriate. I think we need to base a decision upon their backgrounds, what they bring to the commission. If a conflict arises, I think it'll be handled then, either through a recusal, somehow. But I just think it's, I think it's inappropriate.
We have a motion to table it. Do we have a second? Motion died. Okay, we have a motion to approve.
It's already on the table.
Who was that, Larry?
J.P. Swafford, made the motion, and J.P. Ritchie seconded the motion.
Who made the motion?
J.P. Swafford.
It's still open for discussion.
Yes.
Larry, you got a second?
Who seconded it?
J.P. Ritchie.
Okay, motion been made and second. Any comment? Larry?
Yes,
I have found over the years that on something like this, it is hard to find board members or commissioners that are 100% not involved in any way. If not, it's hard to find anybody with no ties of any kind that wants the job. I guess is where I'm coming from. It usually has to be somebody that is an EMT or a fireman or whatever that has enough interest in it that wants to take on this job. Now that's just.
Jeff?
I was just going to say, I want to really second what Larry just said. I worked on the ambulance commission on the western side for 5 years, and I know it's very difficult to get people this contract, writing the contract, getting it out, and evaluating it is going to be a very tough job. We need to give these people as much time as we can give them, and that'd be my next question. Is there any time period that the contracts have to be out for bid or anything like that for this district?
I don't believe so.
I think that would be up to the committee, Judge.
Once they
Well, I understand the ordinance is to form, and they're supposed to come with criteria of what we need. And also bid it, and Lamont, I believe.
And I think it's also going to depend upon when the money's there. You know, they're just starting to collect the money this month, if anything comes in at all. So it's going to be a while before there's adequate funds for them to do anything in the first place. But in terms of a conflict, I think if a commissioner was employed by a company that bid for contract, I think there's a question of conflict there. But at this point, I think it's premature for us to base our decisions on membership based upon that.
Anyone else? Don?
Sam, I was wondering, once they're passed, and this ordinance is passed, does the county have any responsibility, or are they, this committee, they're on their own to take care of this, I think? I mean, as JPs, we don't have any,
You all wrote the ordinance.
it's voted on by the county, right?
Well, I understand they'd be on their own.
That's what I'm thinking, that's why I make
They'd be
sure.
able to be sued. And also, if they mess up, people they choose mess up, guess who's gonna get the first cut? So thank you.
Yes, sir. And Sam, one other part, I was wondering.
I believe John's name.
John?
You have your hand up, John. Okay, Larry.
It was voted on by the Quorum Court to put it on the ballot to let the people vote on it. We didn't, the Quorum Court did not vote it in. We decided to put it on the ballot and let the people decide what they want.
Yeah, but it didn't got on there without you, Larry, so you're partly responsible too.
Well,
Okay, is there anyone else? No.
I'd like to listen to the commission, and if they have any further meetings between now and whenever they get going, they would, may notify us, like in the press or somehow, just kind of know when the meetings are coming up.
I'm sure they'll have to notify the press when they have meetings.
All right.
Anyone else? Call for the vote?
Mr. Deaton?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yeah.
Mr. Hicks?
Yes.
Mrs. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. McNeely?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Swafford?
Yes.
Mr. Harrington?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion passed. And by the way, most of them are here tonight if you would like to visit with them after Quorum Court.
You did bring coffee donuts, didn't you?
We'll get some. Next item of business is B, if you read that, Ms. Kenny, please.
Be it enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Carroll, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance amending ordinance 2008-50 as subsequently amended and adopting a revision to the Carroll County Personnel Handbook repealing the section titled Rational Basis for Reduction or Removal of Pay or Position.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion made by
J.P. Ritchie.
Ricky approved the who? But Jack. Any discussion?
A little background. Recently, Jamie had the occasion to speak with one of the attorneys at the Arkansas Association of Counties, the group that insures us. It's a risk management attorney, and it had to do with personnel matter, but in that conversation, the attorney asked to see our personnel manual. In looking at it, she commented that we have some language in the personnel manual that could conceivably be a problem for us. We are an at-will employer, which means an employee can quit without reason. Conversely, we can terminate somebody without reason. There was language, or there is language in the personnel policy that addresses situations where pay is reduced or duties are changed, and it's rational basis. There has to be a rational basis between the action of the government and whatever was done with the employee. The recommendation of the attorney who works for AAC plus Rainwater firm in Little Rock that represents AAC was that this could be a potential conflict with a future termination situation where one could argue that we really aren't at will. The recommendation was that we remove this language as quickly as possible. So I prepared the ordinance, sent it to Devin for her review. This is not really an emergency, but if this passes, my proposal is to have it brought up for the second and third readings tonight as well, so it will become effective 30 days after publication. And one further comment, the AAC has a model employment policy. Now, there are some similarities between ours and what AAC recommends. So my recommendation after this meeting is that our personnel committee take that recommended language and compare it to our personnel policy and incorporate it if possible, because AAC continually revises these things based upon changes in employment law. And if AAC makes a change, we'll know about it. We'll be able to respond more quickly.
Larry?
Now, with this new language, it will make us an at-will employee.
It'll take away any ambiguity.
Any question on
Yes.
whether we're an at-will?
Yes.
Anyone else? Call for the vote.
Mr. Deaton?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Hicks?
Yes.
Mrs. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. McNeely?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Swafford?
Yes.
Mr. Harrison?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Judge,
Yes.
I move to place this ordinance on its second reading.
Lamont moves second reading, Jack second. Any discussion? Call for the vote.
Mr. Deaton?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Hicks?
Yes.
Mrs. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. McNeely?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Swafford?
Yes.
Mr. Harrison?
Yes.
Motion passed. Second reading.
Judge, I move to place this ordinance on its third reading.
Lamont moves for third reading, Jack second. Any discussion? Call for the vote.
Okay. Mr. Deaton?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Hicks?
Yes.
Mrs. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. McNeely?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Swafford?
Yes.
Mr. Harrison?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion passed. Next
be it enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Carroll, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, a supplemental appropriation ordinance amending ordinance number 2016-30, the 2017 budget ordinance, and appropriating money for courthouse security.
Move to adopt.
Second. Who second? Marty second. Any discussion?
I'll tell you where we're at on this. You know, transition, moving the dispatch and all that, we didn't realize that the dispatch was monitoring all the security on this building. And, Clint is still here. Daniel looked into this for us. He talked to the Cindy over there, and the same company that's doing the next building over is agreed to take on this job here to set this up. And it'll be, dispatch will still have a way to monitor it. They can't sit there and watch it all the time. So we have a third-party alert system on the thing in case we have a break-in or anything going on. And we discussed that there is just going to incorporate many departments in this area, and we can disperse some of the expenses throughout these other departments to help pay for this. But, Dan, you want to handle this number?
Yeah, I can. Basically, it's just a typical alarm system like you can find in any commercial building, door sensors, motion sensors, and some of the larger rooms. There's going to be 4 panels in the 4 main entrances to the building, so they can be turned off and on. There will be 10 of the door contacts, which were any of those that contact or could become easily gotten through. There'll be 9 hold-up and panic buttons. We're actually adding 2, one to the public defender's office and one to the juvenile probation office, which they do not currently have there. The exterior and interior sirens. So the other thing, and I assume this would probably be up to the Quorum Court, I want to bring to your attention, is the way that it's monitored. Typically on a commercial alarm, if the button's pushed or anything happens, they will call that business to see what's going on. If they can't get anybody to come to us. I would propose that we skip that step on it entirely, and any time that this alarm system is monitored and it receives an alarm, it would just go directly to dispatch, regardless of the time of day, department, or what it is. They'll be able to tell us that it's a panic button on the judge's bench, or in the judge's office, or the clerk's office. And for the type of facility that this is, I don't see any need to try to call and confirm that it was or wasn't accidentally hit. They're right here in the city, and we all know what's been going on in this country here lately, and I think that any kind of delay could be bad. So I would encourage you all to discuss amongst yourselves how you would want that monitoring set up. But I would suggest that it would just be a direct call straight to dispatch and get people over here immediately.
Chuck?
Would the county respond, or would the city respond?
It would be the city. Not that we wouldn't if we were closer, but it is technically in the city.
Don?
How come the 911 can't continue to run the surveillance or whatever?
The surveillance may not necessarily be an issue. We will still be able to allow them to view the cameras and stuff. That's still part of the plan. It gets very dark in here at night, and these are not the best of cameras in here. So without having somebody here to actually hear things go bump in the night, if you will, or anything, it's going to be very difficult for them to monitor whether anything is going on.
I have a quick question. If it goes off, you're telling us that the city is going to respond. I had an issue years back with my Western District Courthouse, and because it's a county office, I had to get with the sheriff on having a county deputy there. How come? I
don't know that I can answer that. I've heard
They
of
said
in the
that they
past
could
where they
drive
said there was a
by,
check on county
but
property, so it was
but they said I had to have a county officer.
I would imagine it's in the city, and unless there's something that I'm not aware of.
All right.
I'm thinking if somebody gets a panic button in the courthouse, that everybody's going to respond anyway. I mean, everybody that's close enough to respond, is going to.
And this system's actually better for the panic buttons than what we currently have. The system that's in here now is basically just kind of a real, very basic, thrown together, push a button, buzzer goes off, light comes on, okay, something's wrong somewhere. This is going to pin down exactly where that button was pushed and make it easier for officers to respond to which door the issue's in or which area of the building. So,
Anyone else? Call for the vote.
Mr. Deaton?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Hicks?
Yes.
Mrs. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. McNeely?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Swafford?
Yes.
Mr. Archer?
Yes.
Thank you.
We have the amended one, got the health department.
Be it enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Carroll, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, a supplemental appropriation ordinance amending ordinance number 2016-30, the 2017 budget ordinance, and appropriating money for heating repair. Whereas the heating unit in the Carroll County Health Unit went out and required immediate attention given the current season, and whereas the immediate need for heating made it impractical to be able to present this ordinance to the Joint Budget and Finance Committee, which has not yet been appointed for 2017-2018. Now therefore be it enacted by the Quorum Court of Carroll County, State of Arkansas, that based on the immediate need for heating for the health unit, the requirement that appropriations first be submitted to the Joint Budget/Finance Committee is hereby waived for this appropriation ordinance, and the sum of $4,850 is appropriated from the County General Fund 1,000 to Office 0300, County Health Unit, line item 4004, machinery and equipment.
Move to adopt.
Got moved and adopted. Matt second, any discussion? None?
Sam, wouldn't this kind of fall under building maintenance or something to take care of this, or seem like you had some money there that would be able to fix stuff broken in the building? It had to go in that department.
The health department's a whole different budget, and we didn't budget for this. The
It's on the building.
Correct, it is, it's in
Yeah.
this building.
Budget and Finance Committee was looking into this during budget times. They were gonna try to get it fixed or get back with us with some kind of bid on what it's gonna take to fix it. Evidently it was working okay then, and they didn't get back with us, and then after we passed everything, then it broke. And
It's
so,
patched several times between the
yeah,
visits.
and we're just playing catch up now.
Anyone else? Call for the vote.
Mr. Deaton?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Hicks?
Yes.
Mrs. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. McNeely?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Swafford?
Yes.
Mr. Harrison?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion passed. Well, looks like we're down to JP comments. None agenda items. Lamont?
We're going to be facing another holiday on our February meeting. So in honor of President's Day, I move that we reschedule our February meeting to the fourth Monday, the 27th at 5 o'clock.
Is there a second to that? Don has done it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Case moved to the 27th at 5 o'clock. Larry?
I don't know if this is much comment, as I've got a question or two I want to ask, but the JP comment. Do we have a problem on the election of the ambulance district? I've been hearing all kinds of rumors, so I'm asking.
Not on,
There was something brought to my attention of whether all of the precincts added on the ballot, the issue of the ambulance insurance. I went through, Jamie brought me up to my office, all of the ballots. I went through every precinct that is in the ordinance and checked them off one by one, and they all had it on there. The Winona district, it's part Eastern District, it did not have it on there, but they are already part of the Western Carroll County ambulance insurance.
Okay.
So from what I see, I don't see an issue.
But everybody will be either paying the tax in the eastern or western district, but nobody left out.
Right, it looks like all of the other precincts from the Eastern District are included in the ordinance.
Okay.
Anyone else? No more JP comment?
Just one.
Marty?
Uh,
See your hand, I'm sorry.
As far as the Eastern District goes, that's everything east of the river, right? Well, Kings River, that district is on the west side.
But it isn't part of the Western.
Well, but I'm just saying, if it's on that side of the river, we're divided east and west. It shouldn't have been on their ballot.
Yeah, that's, Devin, that's, Marty's question is,
Yeah, I
Kings
understand the
River,
question.
was the Kings River on the eastern side ballot?
Yes, it was.
Okay,
And my
good.
understanding that Kings River has east and west. Is that correct, Jamie? Is it
No,
all western?
it's all
Eastern.
eastern, because it's,
It's all eastern.
Yes.
because I'm assuming the
And that was
proximity
on
is
our
very good.
ballot.
Well, if it's all eastern,
So,
It's on the western district side of the bridge. If you're
Larry.
going by the
okay, wait,
bridge.
that's what I'm asking. Is the Kings River precinct has some western and eastern districts?
It's
voters
all on,
within it.
it's, the Kings River precinct is in the eastern district precinct. We did not have a split ballot for east and west.
Right, okay, but I think he's
It's all-
asking about that.
Mhm.
My understanding is the Kings River precinct includes some voters who are members of the western district by the geographic line. Is that right?
Depending on what line you're going from.
The river, which is the line.
I thought it was
is the left
Bluebird
one.
Mountain, and now it's coming up with the river, so.
The Kings River should be the boundary between the western and eastern district. So, okay, and anyway, let's assume that there are voters from the west and the east within the Kings River precinct. The title of the ordinance says an ambulance district in the eastern district of Carroll County. The power, or the meat portion of the ordinance, so to speak, the part where it says it is now enacted, simply states that an ambulance district is created and outlines all of the precincts. Kings River is one of those precincts. In my opinion, that means that we don't have an issue. Can I say that there won't be a Western District person in the Kings River that won't sue? No, but I can't ever think that's not going to sue. What I can tell you is it appears legal to me.
Larry?
But basically what it amounts to, Kings River doesn't completely divide eastern and western district. It goes down precinct lines and it's divided by precinct lines instead of the river.
Yes, the ambulance
I just
district
wanted
is
to be-
created by precinct and not by.
Okay.
Correct.
Chuck?
yeah, I was just gonna iterate what Devin just said, it's all by precinct, and they have to do it that way because of millage, and how things are taken up by
And
voters.
the ambulance district creating statutes, I believe, say that it has to be an entire precinct and they have to be contiguous.
Contiguous, right.
Anyone else? I don't know whether I'm supposed to report this or not. But here's a copy from State of Arkansas, Carroll, Robert T. Rogers' office. You don't like
They have
that?
a copy, Judge. I put a copy in the
Oh,
packet.
you gave them
Yes,
a copy?
yes, sir. I do, Judge, if we can, I do have two things for you in the meeting.
Go ahead.
One of them, if we could pass this around, everybody could look at their information on their JP, make sure email, phone number, it's all good. Any corrections, mark on that one, because that's what I'm gonna be putting on the website and on our wall for people who want copies of stuff. So I wanna make sure that that's all good.
I'd like to make a recommendation that we have pictures with that to the website, because that way people will be able to.
I don't do that, but that sounds great. Would you like me to do that, or you want to do that first? Let's do that. And then another thing judges asked me to bring is we need to delegate a JP for this year. to be our JP delegate for the Arkansas Association.
Is Marty still interested in doing it?
I think one of them was good, if they want to.
You want to, Marty?
No, I just, if somebody else wants to do it, that'd be fine with me.
Would everybody like to do that?
I would be interested, but how many meetings out of town per year?
2 years.
Two?
One in Little Rock and then
Would you like to want to put Lorraine on?
Okay.
I volunteer.
Anything else?
No, sir, thank you for letting me do that.
Okay, by ordinance, that was passed several years ago. Appointments to the Budget Committee are as follows: Mark Johnson, Lamont Ritchie, and Matt Phillips. County Facilities and Property, Mr. John Howard, Craig Hicks, and Jack Deaton. Public Water Development, Mr. Roger Hall, Chuck Olson, and Larry Swafford. I got your copy now. Personnel, Mr. Jack Deaton, Mark Johnson, Ms. Noreen Watson. 3 members to the following committees per ordinance 2013-12. County Finance, Marty Johnson, Lamont Ritchie, and Matt Phillips. County Library, Don McNeely, Ms. Noreen Watson, and Craig Hicks. All right, that's it now. I think that's it. Also, we got our legislative audit report back. Looks like we passed everything but one problem. Sheriff of cash account review of drug buy fund records revealed a $1,481 shortage. The custodians of these funds, the Carroll County Deputy and Narcotics Investigator, resigned employment on July 27, 2016 at the request of the prosecuting attorney. Arkansas State Police is investigating the matter. The paper's not in the file yet. Okay, you all still have the appointment of the ambulance committee? You got those?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I have your oath of office if you don't want to be sworn in. Nothing else to be said, and I hadn't forgot anything. I didn't have any motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you all for coming.
Turned off, and then I was waiting for a call from Little Rock.
That's your homework now.
I want to know.
Roger,